Hello everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be making a tutorial on how to sew a short bubu gown. So from the beginning of our fabric, in this case our pattern paper, we measure 1 inches, which is going to be the starting point of what we are going to make. So after measuring out the 1 inches, we are going to connect it together with a ruler to make a straight line. Then, like we showed earlier, we are working with the sleeve measurement of 18 inches. So we are going to measure 18 inches on that straight line that we just drew. Then from that point of 18 inches, we are coming down by 1.5 inches, which is going to shoulder slants. For this tutorial, we are going to be using the neckline measurement of 3 by 3 inches. So we'll measure the neck width of 3 inches. Then after measuring it, we are going to connect it together with that point that we came down by 1.5 inches. Then the next thing we'll do is to reconfirm our 18 inches. Mind you, we are adding 1 inch hemming allowance to it, so we are measuring out 19 inches. So after reconfirming it, the next thing to do is to measure our sleeve opening, and we are going to use our armhole measurement divided by 2 to do this. The armhole we are working with is 18 inches. Therefore, our sleeve opening will be 9 inches, but I'm measuring out 10.5. Then we come in by 2 inches and come down by 2 inches from that point we came in. Then we are going to use our ruler to connect our sleeve opening from that point at the shoulder slope to where we marked. After that, we'll take our curve and use it to connect that point of our arm of our sleeve opening down to where we came down by 2 inches. The next thing we are going to do now is to measure our waist measurement. Our waist measurement is from the nape of our neck is 18 inches. So we are going to measure 18 inches. And at that point, we measure our actual waist measurement, which is the vertical waist measurement. And the waist measurement we are working with is 36. 36 divided by 4 is 9. But we are adding 2 inches for ease and 1 inch for sewing allowance. So that means we are measuring out 12 inches. At that point, we'll come down again to our hip line. For this tutorial, the hip line is 9 inches away from the waist measurement. So measure down 9 inches from the waist measurement. Then after measuring it, at that point, at that hip line, we are going to place our tape and come in by 3 inches from that 18 inches that we measured as our sleeve length. But if you like, you can make your hip line to be like maybe your hip measurements divided by 4 plus 3 inches like we did for the waist. But for this tutorial, we are just going to deduct 3 inches from our hip line. Then we connect all the points together with our hip curve. This gown is going to be tapered at the end, so it's going to be a bit curved at the end. We are almost done with our bubu gown. So now we are going to connect our waist to our sleeve. You can use a curve if you like, but I'm using a free hand to connect it together. However, you can decide to go for a straight line. If you want to do a straight line, just you connect that point where we came in and came down by 2 inches straight to your hip. But because of the person I'm sewing this for is a bit curvy, that is why I'm making mine in a curvy manner. So now we are going to measure our neck depth and neck width. We already measured 3 inches for our neck width. Then our neck depth is going to be 3 inches as well. Then we are going to use our curve to connect it together in a good circular form. Then from that point where we came in, before that, we are going to come down by 1 inch because normally our back neckline is going to be shorter than our front neckline. So our back neckline is going to be 1 inch. So from that 3 inches neck depth, we are going to measure 5 inches for slits, for our front slits, because the outfit we are going to sew is going to have neck slits. Then we measure out a 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 an inch, which is going to be the joining allowance at the shoulder. We connect it together and we are practically done with our drafting. So the next thing to do now is to cut it out. We are going to maintain our back neck depth. So when we are cutting on the fabric, when we remove the front from the back panel, we'll cut out our front panel neck depth. So now we are finished cutting the pattern. The next thing is to cut it on the fabric. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut it on the fabric. So this is the fabric, this is the front panel of the fabric, and this is the back panel. Besides cutting the fabric, I've already cut the facing that we use to tape the neck. You can put the facing inside, you can turn it inside, you can turn it outside, but for me I'm turning it outside. So this is the back panel, this is the front panel. Remember, we are supposed to make a slit on the front panel. So we pin the facing together with it so that we can cut out the slit. After pinning the facing, turn it to the other side. And as you can see, this is the midpoint, and this is where the slit is going to end. To the slit. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to join the facing together with the fabric. So when I'm sewing this, I will join it like this, then like this, then the other side, and join it, then I'll flip it, and I'm going to join the back the same way. Let me go to the sewing machine and I will show you how it looks when I'm done. So I've already joined the facing together with the fabric, and after joining it, I notched it so that it will be able to relax well. Then now I'm flipping it over to the right, and as you can see, without even ironing it, it has already laid down. It's already relaxing. So now the next thing I'll do is to iron it down, then sew the facing down to the fabric. So I've already sewn down the facing with the clothes, with the front panel and the back panel. So and the back panel, the front panel and the back panel. So the next thing to do is to join the two panels together. So to do that, I'm going to start sewing from the edge. I'll sew from the edge, then leave the sleeve opening, go down here till the end of the fabric. Then when I'm done joining the two panels together, I'm going to hem the sleeve and the edge of the fabric. So let me go to the machine and do that, then I'll come and show you the final look of the clothes. As you can see, the clothes is free and looks good on the body. Thank you so much for watching this video. Till my next video. Bye.